My dreams are nightmares. How can I sleep? You got the gun against me.
What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Jazzwares All Elite Wrestling Unrivaled collection, Cody. And so here we have Cody posing out of the packaging. Before we take a look at the figure, let's actually run through his accessories really fast. Cody unfortunately only comes with one accessory, and that is a sledgehammer, which is kind of confusing because he really didn't use the sledgehammer at all during the match, which is a strange accessory to include with him. Other than that, we don't get anything else with Cody here. No alternate hands, no nothing. I guess you can include the weight belt as an accessory, but it's part of his ring gear, so I'm going to count it as part of the ring gear. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually take a closer look, in-depth look at Cody Rhodes. And so here we have a closer look at Cody. Now, I'm a little bit torn on this face. I've taken a look at it through different lighting, and it really does look like Cody Rhodes. The sculpt on it is nice. However, I think the paint is what kills it on this figure, and I don't know what it is, what Wicked Cool Toys or Jazzware, whatever you want to call them. I don't know what they did wrong, because they did photoreal the face on Cody here. I think what went wrong is that they went a little too heavy around the eyes. Also, they did miss the mark on the eyes. Let's see if I can zoom in just a little bit more so you can see what I'm talking about. It'll be a little bit difficult to explain if I can't show you guys, and my camera just doesn't want to focus on it, unfortunately. But yeah, there's a part in his eye where you can see that the paint is lower than the actual sculpt, and that does cause a little bit of an issue here. He kind of looks like he's a little bit sad and droopy, and it just takes away from the figure a little bit, and I kind of wish that Wicked Cool Toys had did a little things differently just to make sure that that actually managed to land where it needed to be. Like I said, the sculpt is overall really nice. I do like the sculpt, but the paint really does kill it on this figure, unfortunately. Now, Cody here does have his bleach blonde hair, which ever since he became the American Nightmare, he does have the bleach hair, which does look really nice. I do like it. It does work for Cody. Moving on to the body here, we do have his dream tattoo right across his chest. Really do like the body that they went with for Cody here. It does look really nice. I do like it. There's a lot of things to like about this sculpt. Now, one thing I'm not a fan of is the differences in skin tone. Now, I don't know if my camera can pick it up, but the torso is a different skin tone than the abdomen. Now, that could be just because of the material difference. This is actually a harder plastic. This is a softer plastic. And then we do have a little bit of tonal change right here in the arms. It's not a big deal, but it is something to note when looking at the Unrivaled collection. I don't know if it's universal with every figure, but we'll take a look as we have a look at them. Really do like the taped up wrist here on Cody. Now, this is a problem I have with Mattel. It's a problem I'm going to have with Wicked Cool Toys. It's a problem I'm going to have with everything. When you have a character with a glove or a taped up wrist, you want to make that hinge that same color as the tape, because then it looks weird. This is no different. I don't know why Wicked Cool Toys went this route, probably to save plastic, but it really does irk me whenever I see that. It's really bothersome. Here on his left hand, I am actually surprised they did include his Triforce tattoo. That's something that you wouldn't expect them to include, but he does have a tiny Triforce tattoo on his wedding ring, or on his ring finger, and that's a pretty nice little detail. I do like that. So other than that, we don't have anything here on the torso, but taking a look at his ring gear, he is wearing the weight belt, which was blue with the black buckle, so that is accurate. On the back, it does say Attitude Killer, which is what it said on the back. Then we have the Nightmare Family logo right there. And it is removable if you want to take it off. You can see more of his ring gear. I think they did miss the mark on this figure. They could have included his entrance gear. That probably would have been much better than just a plain old sledgehammer. But you can see right here more of his ring gear logos. We do have some more designs right here on the side. Right here on the knee pad, it looks like an eagle or part of the Nightmare family logo. Then we do have some more designs right here. Then we have these really nice ring boots where you can see they are white with the Cody Rhodes in blue, and they do have some dark blue accents, so those look really nice. Then we have almost like a zipper with some belts that clip it together. So that's a nice little detail that I am glad Wicked Cool Toys did add. And he does have white soles, but I believe that is how it was. I'll have to double check the match. But it does look really nice. I do like the way it came out. You can see that design is right here. Did miss the mark on the back a little bit, but it's not that big of a deal. So overall, Cody here is a really nice looking figure. He does have some issues with the face. Now, if they had just worked on the face just a little bit more just to get the eyes lined up, I think that would have made this figure much better, because he kind of looks like that gothic emo meme kid. I think you guys know what I'm talking about, but yeah, the face paint could be a little bit better, but the sculpt is really nice, so I do have to give credit where credit is due. So, with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get them compared to other wrestling figures you may have in your collection. And so here we do have Cody posed next to a WWE Ultimate Edition's Brock Lesnar and an Elite CM Punk. Now, one thing I do want to point out is the skin tone. I don't know what it is about the Wicked Cool Toys skin tone. It is very, very pale. Now, even though the WWE figures don't have any wash in the body, it does look a little more natural. This looks really pale, like Cody hasn't seen the sunlight in 36 years, which I do need to point that out, that even though the Mattel skin tone isn't perfect, it does seem a little bit better than the Wicked Cool Toy skin tone. So, with the comparisons with WWE figures out of the way, let's actually have a look at Cody Rhodes' articulation, where I think it outshines Mattel's figures, but then there's also things that I'm not quite a fan of. We do have a ball hinge here at the head, so we do get some slight head tilt, some pretty decent up and down movement. Just on the ball joint alone, it does rotate left and right really nicely. I do like the fact that we do get an actual disc hinge right here in his neck, so he can look up. He can look down. Really do like that articulation. Arms are on ball joints, and something I do like is that they did cut out a large portion for the shoulder, and what that allows is for the arm to go really high up. You can see it goes past horizontal, so I do like that. And it also has this really nice clicking ratchet joint to it, so I do appreciate that. That's going to keep it from getting loose. Does rotate all the way around, no problem. We do have a bicep swivel, which works no problem. We have a double hinge here at the wrist, which goes past 90 degrees, as you can see. You can kind of force it past, but you can see it wants to return back. And then we do have a swivel and hinge here at the wrist, so that works really nicely. Here in the torso, we do have some really nice articulation points. We do have a ball joint here at the mid-torso, so you can lean back about that far. Can lean forward about that far. Does rotate left and right there. And we also do have some side tilt. As you can see, the torso does pivot. The lower abdomen is a softer material. I do need to point that out because that does allow for an even further back bend, as you can see. I don't know what it is. Companies just can't get the forward ball joint working properly, because that's as far as he goes. But I'm guessing that's as far as you need him to go. And working with both those joints, he can lean to the side quite a bit, so I do like that. And of course, we do have rotation. Now, because it isn't your traditional disc, it will not go all the way around, so you will have to manipulate some joints to get some really dynamic angles. But that's pretty much what we come to expect from figures these days. We do have your standard ball hinges, or just ball joints here at the hip, and they do rotate on that ball joint really nicely. When I got them out of the packaging, the ball joint was inward and the knees were pointing in. I thought that was a problem that all the figures would have, but no, it's actually just rotated on that ball joint, so do be aware of that. Legs do kick out to the side, no problem. Okay, they do kick forward, but kicking forward, that's as far as they go. Now, you can kick them further, but as you can see, it does push them out to the side, which you can adjust it with the thigh swivel, so he can kick forward, but again, it does go off at an angle. And like I said, he does have a thigh swivel on top of a little bit of movement on that ball joint. He does have double jointed knees, which does work pretty decently. Not the best that we've ever seen. I would have liked to see a little more range on that. Might just be on Cody, might be on all of the figures. We'll see as we take a look at them. We do have your traditional boot swivel for wrestling figures. We have a really stiff hinge in the foot, which goes back and forward. And then we also do have forward facing pins, so we do get some rocker ankle, so you can move that joint around to get some pretty decent rocker. So overall, Cody here is a pretty nice figure. There are some issues I have with the paint, a little bit of articulation problems, especially in the knees and the abdomen, but overall I still like the way this figure came out. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get him posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have the AEW Unrivaled collection, Cody, posed for my final thoughts. And overall, I do like the way the figure came out. I do have some issues, especially with the skin tone that they went with. This is a really pale skin tone, and it's not normally a problem under normal lights, but under my harsh lights, I did honestly have to change the exposure for this video because as pale as he was, it just lit up like a Christmas tree. It was that intense, so I did have to change the exposure. I have heard rumors that Wicked Cool Toys is going to work on the skin tones come Series 2, but I don't know. I don't have them in hand yet, so I really can't judge it. I can only judge what I have in hand, and right now, I do think Wicked Cool Toys is onto something with this Unrivaled collection. The articulation on is fantastic. It far exceeds anything that Mattel has given us in terms of the price point. You are paying $20 for an Unrivaled figure, so that's equivalent to paying for an Elite figure. Now, one thing I do have to mention is the lack of accessories. We only got the sledgehammer with Cody, which is a little bit confusing because he really only used the sledgehammer one time, and it wasn't even during the match, so I think having his entrance gear and more hands would have been a better option. I don't know why Wicked Cool Toys didn't include a pair of fists for Cody. He was really brutal in the match and really did use his fists a lot, so that's one thing I don't understand why he doesn't come with a pair of fists. Honestly, all wrestling figures need to come with grip hands, style pose hands, and fists. That's just my honest opinion, and that's really what you need for a wrestling figure. Overall, I'm quite pleased with what I have here. I might have overhyped it in my head thinking it was going to be better than it actually is, but that's not to say it isn't a good figure. I really do like the way this figure came out, and with a little adjustments in the skin tone, face paint, Wicked Cool Toys has a really solid figure here. With that being said, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Go check out all my other action figure reviews, as well as all my other AEW videos, which will be coming up, and all my other wrestling videos. So hopefully you find those informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments. And if it's in my collection, I'll definitely have a look at it. While you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos. And as always, ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.